Hey, what's up? It's the Normal Player Guy here, and this is part two of the Universe 6 Eza'S. So we've looked at SDR Kefla. We have then looked at the first part then, which was Tech Khalifa and SDR Kale. Quite a good pair, if you don't mind. And now we've got Int Hit and Int Vados. Now, in particular for Hit, he's got some big shoes to fill because he's got Tech Hit, who is an absolute behemoth, and is still really good, by the way. He's got some big shoes to fill. And in terms of Vados, well, she's got Whis. Now, I'm aware on JP Whis also had his EZA, but that doesn't matter for anything that we have. Right, okay, so Hit. Big shoes to fill, guys. So let's have a look. So this is bizarre because previously, fine. So we had no stats. He had 80% attack, 0 defense. He did have a 50% chance to stun with a 15% chance to stun. I mean, dude, that's just something bizarre, right? Really, really, really poor. When he first came out, again, hype, but not that hype. Right, okay, so that's just... I fail to see how you could rock anything in that, but sure, yes. Right, so what would you have? 2 key, 160%. Wow, that's nice. That goes from 0 to that. Disables enemy guard. I mean, that's nice to have, just because it's just a thing, so it means physical won't slow him down, but that's just nice. 160% extra on attack. Your super attack effect greatly raises, and this time you have a 50% chance to stun. Good God. Talk about 0 to hero. Seriously, he went from 10%, 15% chance to stun to 50% to stats and a 50% chance to stun. Good God. You get an additional 60% to stats and a chance of critting on super attack. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay, on attack, you'll get 220%, of which gets further buffed by 50%. You have a 50% chance to crit and a 50% chance to stun. What the actual hell? 70% chance of stunning the attacked enemy on... That's insane. That's once per turn. Every rotation, it'll be that. You have a 70% chance to stun the attacked enemy once per rotation. As well as having... this is going stupid, this. When an enemy is hit by the super attack, you have a chance to evade attacks from that enemy for a duration. So if you don't stun them, you have a 50% chance to dodge anyway. Okay, you disable the attacked enemy's action once within the turn every time you perform 2 or more attacks in battle. So the next enemy once within the same turn every time the character attacks 2 more times in battle. Wow, he is he not God? What the actual hell? I mean, okay, 55% we are looking at a little low. It's not that impressive. I mean, he's like 8 years old, 7 years old realistically. Okay, so he's 7 years old. Now it's still good, right? I suppose what's really going for him is he has a massive amount of stats. This is berserk. This is crazy. And the fact that he's getting on super attack, he's going to go from 0 to hero, and he's going to be a behemoth because he has a 70% chance to stun, an additional 50% chance to stun. And if you don't actually stun him, you get a 50% chance to dodge. And should you actually do additionals, you also disable the character's action anyway. He won't be hit because the chances are you'll get hit once or twice, right? If you don't stun him, and there's a chance that you'll do an additional super attack, and that doesn't stun him, well, you're just stunned. Well, then you've just disabled the next hit, which means the guy only has to tank 1 attack, which you have a 50% chance to dodge. He's untouchable. When after he attacks, he's untouchable. Before he attacks, he's got a problem. So he is floater fantastic. He is pièce de résistance off floater because he cannot be touched. He doesn't build up, so he's just off the bat 0 to 100%, 0 to 200% even, or if anything 0 to 160%. He is ridiculous. In fact, Filling in the shoes, I'd say that's he's done a really good job, because this is all. I mean, like, he had, for example, this guy 160%. He has 160% too. This guy gets 30% defense, and the other guy gets 50% defense. For which, though, he also has a comparable start of turn defense. So if anything, int hit will actually be hit harder. Now, of course, that might fluctuate pending whether or not you can get U6 allies, but at the very least, he has 20% for himself. So actually, if anything, on paper, start of turn stats, int hit is better. This guy, I mean, he does low attack and defense, which is huge, lowering the enemy's attack. He has a 50% chance to stun on when the enemy is hit. And then, of course, he also has his other one. So honestly, he's got 30% chance. He's got like double 30%. That's kind of the same idea. But this guy's got like a 70% and a 50. He's got a 70 and a 50, not two 30s. This guy's better. He's actually knocked hit off. The only reason hit's better, you could say for two reasons. One, I think his attack is harder. Yeah, his attack is a lot better, right? Not only that, but he's also got a better leader skill. So factoring that in mind, so the tech hit will hit harder, better leader, but otherwise defensively, this guy is best, right? So well done. No, seriously, well done, Docking, because that's a job well done. So we're talking Supreme Warrior Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, Infighter, Shattering the Limit, Shocking Speed, and U6. So he's good on, like Rapid Growth could have a good one. Super Bosses I could agree with, right, because he was a big thing. Target Goku is in, because he was paid to take him out. Legendary Existence, Space Traveling Warriors, Accelerated Battle. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're talking 7 teams here. He could have extreme useful ability just on dodge. You wouldn't just on floating. I mean, you wouldn't strictly need to actually link him up with anybody, because he could just look after himself. If you're going into an event where you can't stun the enemy, then you might have a bit of a problem, because this guy's whole gimmick is around that. Then again, he does have a 50% chance to dodge, and he does also have the nullification action. So again, even if you can't stun them, you have a 50% chance to dodge, and there's a chance that you'll actually take off his action. So yeah, again, a floater for like Target Goku, Accelerated Battle, Legendary Existence, Rapid Growth could be really good. Of course, the best linking partner, like Tech Hit, is these guys. Experienced Fighters, Cold Judgment, Infighter, and Shocking Speed. So Cold Judgment, given that massive defense, coming in with Legendary Existence and TOP with their 200% available, could be really good. Who else do we have? Okay, so STR Jiren, and by extension, we're also rocking this guy. Supreme Warrior Fighter, Shocking Speed, Key and Stat, very nice. Cold Judgment in this case for STR Jiren could be really nice. Let's see. We have. Actually, there's not really a. That's really about it for these people. You don't really. It's Experienced Fighters is why Pycon's on here. You wouldn't run him on these. You wouldn't run him on these. I mean, these can be part of Universal Survival Saga, but I don't see how you'd rock. What is it with you? Accelerated Battle. The only reason you'd rock them on the Accelerated Battle is because of a floating. That's plausible. What does you share with this guy? Space Traveling Warriors. But you wouldn't strictly run Whis. The Realm of Gods is probably where he belongs. So you're gonna, again, he could easily fit as a floater. You'll struggle link-wise and team-building-wise, but then again, I suppose, again, defensively, he's looking pretty solid. Yeah, you literally could have him on that. So how do you get this guy done? Careful or Easy 8. Sorry to say it. You have to do the skills event a number of times, because there's 4 ECAs that actually require it, right? I mean, there might be some missions to help cut down on that grind, but yeesh. Well done, Docker. That's actually really good. It turns out this guy has a few free-to-play chances, right? So you can SA farm him, which is really nice. So if you haven't, now's the chance. So again, yeah, so you'd only have to use a few Kais just to get to 15. So great. So who do we have now for Vados? Well, Vados is going up against Whis, and Whis is good in the fact that he has a 50% chance, no, he has a 70% chance to dodge. And every time he dodges, his defense goes up by 50%, exponentially exploding his defense, which is really, really nice. So he's useful in many a way. So Vados was a great support, and I believe she had a 50% chance to dodge. But let's have a look now and see what she does. So previously, looked like she had some stats. Yeah, 50% chance to dodge, but she was an insane 20% buff. By the way, this was a 20% buff for Universe 6. You got an additional 20% buff if you belong to this, another 20% buff for this, and another 20% buff for this. So in particular, 3 of these, so you could rock Beerus and Whis in particular, and I think she came out a roughly similar time to Physical Beerus. Yeah, Physical Beerus could have 60%, by the way, because it stacks with all of these, which is absolutely insane. So I'm most curious to see how she works out now. So U6 now goes from 120 to 130, so that's fine, it's a usable one. So we have 160%, already looking pretty great. 70% chance to dodge. That's what we like to see. We like to see a dodge unit, become a legitimate dodge unit. So already we're on Whis' territory here. So 60% to stats within the same turn after dodging. Nice. That's really good. Stats, by the way. So enters the game with 8,000. So not bad. Reasonable attack. Should you have 1 dupe? It speaks for themselves. And of course, if you have this column, then this column is away. So coming in at 55%, we have just over 8,000. Coming in at 55%, we have actually better start of turn stats. Same dodge, better start of turn stats, better stats altogether. Coming in with 1 dupe, better altogether. Better, definitely. So okay, that's really good. What does she do? So your super attack effect, oh Jesus, massively raises attack and defense. That's a 100% to buff to stats. Lowers attack and seals. What did she do previously? Lowers attack and seals. Now did they just go what the hell? That's insane. That is a ridiculous amount of stats that, because like additionals would be monstrous. You now get, let's have a look what she does now. It's still 20%, but now you get 1 key. So any of these people can stack key and stack this. So like, as again, Physical Beerus would get 60%, but now he's getting 3 keys 60%. So that's nice. 40% HP when 60% or less once only. Okay, that's nice. Randomly changes key spheres to rainbow, and at the start of the turn, if there's another U6 or Realm of Gods in the same turn. So you do get this at the least, right? No matter what, you get the HP buff. So that's nice. Then you're a Rainbow Orb Changer. So you're a Rainbow Orb Changer if there's a U6 or Realm of Gods. That's actually nice, and it's in the same turn, but the chance of you rocking either is actually extremely high. Because, like, again, you wouldn't rock this guy without a Beerus, because he allows attack and heals a little bit, right? So again, he's brilliant, and you wouldn't rock him without a Realm of Gods. And then same again. I feel like that's the same. Rocking the Innocence, Brainiac, Solid Support, Cold Judgment, Fierce Battle, Godly Power, Shocking Speed. So we're good on, Realm of Gods, Sibling, Bond of Master, Universe 6, Space Traveling. Now, outside of Space Traveling, I can see she has room on the rest. Like, we're talking, like, these 2 in particular, Margarita and Whis. So, she is better than Whis. I know this boy is going to have his Easy 8 at some point in the future, I believe, but right now, as it stands, she is better than this guy. And she's better than Margarita. And she's better than Gowasu and Samasu, who, again, had the Easy A and are great against an extreme class unit, really. She's going to be a good complement to these two, by the way. Their EZA is really good. His is also pretty good, and even his is actually fairly solid. So again, chances of you rocking a Realm of Gods is good. If you're going to rock her, you could quite easily rock one of these two Beeruses, and they would work quite beautifully side by side. So yes, both of them have had big shoes to fill, and both of them have absolutely smashed it. Well done for Dokken to not messing this up. It was all too easy for them to absolutely ruin these. They could have given them 100%. This could have just been a thing. It could have been less. This could have been still at 50%. You might have not had this entirely. And this could have had a few more loopholes. And hell, this could have just been stacks attack and raises defense for the turn. You never know. This is probably the biggest thing. Outside of the fact that int hit is probably better now than tech hit, this is the biggest surprise going. That massively raises insane. And again, like this guy goes from 0 to hero in just straight after he attacks. They've made it so he cannot be attacked, and even if you can't stun, he can disable and he can dodge. And even if you take away the dodging ability, which some do, you can still have this. And as I said, when are you going to get hit more than twice? It's rare. So again, put him as a floater, and you could just be untouchable. Joe, these two I think are better than Kale and Caulifla, the tech and the SDR. I feel like that's true because there's more going for these. They don't have to be side by side. You can stick them on any of the teams as a floater and they would work, and they are not integral to any part. Yes, they have like in particular, Hit doesn't, he only has one realistically good person, and Vados only realistically has these two at a push 3. So again, it's not as if they're integral. You could say that you could argue the case they're only integral for Universe 6, which in that case, fine. That's the team you'd most likely run. Universe 6 is definitely underdeveloped because there's not a great roster of people on there, so it's nice to see that they have these buffed. Universe 6 now, if I bring it up, by the way, is going to have quite a lot of, half the leaders are EZA. Kale is still pretty good. There's an LR EZA. We have Kefla who's just come out. There's a couple of EZA areas and sub-EZAs. So again, it's coming along. And there's a few free-to-play options in here as well. So they've definitely fleshed out this quite a bit more. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. And if you liked it, brilliant. And if you didn't, sucks to be you as always. But until the next video, thank you and bye-bye.